Hey everybody, Earl Somatic here from the Cryptopolitan podcast, and today's guest is Josh. Josh, thanks for coming on the show. How you doing today?
Doing good. Thanks for having me.
Fantastic. Well, excited to chat. What project do you want to put on the board here for the show? And so tell us about that just briefly, and then once you've got the brief explanation down, so people who've never heard of it or have never seen it before get what it's about. Let's talk about what's exciting. What's exciting for you in the project? So start off with just a brief explanation. So not all the people who watch are like super duper technical. So explain it in like layman's terms, and then if you want to go all nerdy and geeky together, we can dive in as deep as we want. Right?
Yeah, totally. Well, yeah, thanks for having me. PKT is a media network that's powered by the people. And what that means in simple terms is people all over the world are contributing internet and computer resources to a greater network. And that is powering a streaming platform and a streaming network where content creators, platforms, distributors, and anybody can build anything on top of it, can build that, and it's like an Apple TV like experience that's powered
Hmm.
by the people.
Pretty cool. So it's basically decentralized YouTube, da 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 da, right? So it's kind of yeah, we can go
Yeah,
from
well,
there.
it's the ecosystem where the YouTube killer could live, where the Netflix killer could live, where
Mhm.
the iTunes killer could live, where the Spotify killer could live. There's so many people that are really passionate about each one of those things, and
Yes.
have the great idea of how we're going to solve this problem. But they're so scattered across the internet. And so what the packet network does is it creates a sovereign part of the internet where all of those can live in an ecosystem where you can
Hmm.
still access your Netflix, Hulu, Disney, YouTube, and all those things, but you also have access to all of these other streaming platforms and disruptors that can pool audience and actually become competitive on top of the packet network.
That makes sense because it's deep in and because it's decentralized. You can build your own, like you said, YouTube killer, whatever, Netflix killer, if you
Yeah,
wanted to. But it's not like you block all the other ones, so you're still cool using everything else, and you can build your own thing. That's really cool.
totally. Yeah, and people are remunerated for contributing to the network. And so anybody that has a computer anywhere in the world can run code on there. It's a stake to earn protocol. So they just lock up their coins for a period of time. And then that generates a yield when they pair that with their infrastructure.
Oh, that's
And the
pretty cool.
reason we lock it up is because we want to create a resilient network, something that isn't going to get shut down the second you close your computer or something
Right.
like that. And so by making a longer commitment to having that node live, it can help us build a stronger, more robust network similar to and competitive to an Amazon web server.
Right, that makes sense. Okay, so okay, we went a little nerdy there. So let's
Sorry.
no, no, it's good. It's good. But let me tone it down for the regular viewers, and you tell me if I've explained it properly, right? So you're a regular guy. You have a computer that's sitting around doing nothing. You pop this on the DPIN network. You set it up, and you share some of your resources. Now the resources are there, and for doing so, you get compensated. Once you get compensated with the token, whatever else, you can stake it, and once you stake it, they pay you more.
Yeah,
So
well,
pretty
you have
much
to
it.
stake and pair it with your infrastructure. So it's kind of a two-step
Okay.
process. You get packet, you
Uh
stake
huh.
it, you pair it with your infrastructure, and it's all done through a dashboard. So even though these things seem very like complex, or like infrastructure, staking, all these things, it's
Yes.
it's all done through your Web3 wallet and all through the packet dashboard. That happens actually inside of the wallet. You can do all of this stuff. So it's really
Mm,
simple to do, and it's that's been our real goal, even though these concepts do seem complex when you're like, what is
right.
infrastructure? But we really want to address the masses and not just the crypto nerds. And so we've been really diligent on making this very user friendly, very simple for anybody to do it. I mean, literally, my mom is doing it on her internet. So
I
if
love
she
that.
can do it,
That's the mom test. The mom test.
yeah.
I love that. My mom is not technically inclined at all. I mean, I think I had to teach her how to copy paste like 35 times. So she finally got it when it's like, okay, right click. Oh, there's a button. Push the button.
Yeah.
Don't Control C, Control V was just beyond her. So
Yeah.
yeah, I love the mom test. So that's really cool. So is it more like almost like a Web 2 interface pointing to a Web 3 structure so that the regular normies who aren't like super, crypto nerds like us can figure it out?
Yeah, well, there are technical people that can do it. We also have created a plug and play product that you just
Mm.
plug into your router and it just does everything for you.
Oh my
And
God.
so
That's
at
awesome.
PKTPAL, pktpal.com, you just go, you get a device, plug it into your router and it works anywhere in the world, and you don't have to worry about staking or infrastructure or anything. It's totally
Just
plug and
does
play
it.
and it all done for you.
Oh my god, that passes the mom test 100%. Cool.
Yeah, definitely.
So now that people know kind of what you do, which is exciting, that's really cool. And I like the infrastructure and the networks that you're building. What are you most, I mean, I know this is going to be a tough question. What are you most excited about in the next little while about your project?
Yeah, well, kind of understanding a little bit about me, I come from the film business and I've spent
Mhm.
20 years plus making movies. My brother founded Radical Studios, which did Hercules with The Rock, Oblivion with
Nice.
Tom Cruise, Morgan Freeman. We've done Netflix movies. We've done over $1 billion in global revenue with our movies.
Mm,
And we got to see in a front seat how broken and fragmented this industry is. And for
mhm.
content creators like ourselves, we just saw how everybody gets screwed and the distributors and platforms, are doing record high
Right.
stock prices. And so we really wanted to shift that for ourselves. And by solving that for ourselves, we
Mm,
solved that for a lot of people as well. And so this is really coming out of, we watched the entire entertainment industry just absolutely nuke, right? The actors went on
mhm.
strike for the first time since the 80s. The writers went on strike. I mean, everybody is like, holy shit, there's a big problem here. And
Absolutely.
and so that's been really exciting for us to say, hey, here's the solution. And we can all
Right.
rally behind this solution. And as creators, from podcasts to movie making to all these things, creators really want to be able to make a living off of their creations. And it's not
Mhm.
really possible in this day and age. And so this creates that foundation for that to be possible. And that gets us really excited to start bringing in creators and start giving people ownership of this network so that we as a community can be disruptive and it's just powered by the people.
I really like that. Have you so there's a guy who created the Wired magazine. I'm sure you've heard of Wired, and he created this weird concept called the thousand true fan theory, right? I
Hmm.
don't know, I'm sure you see that one, the thousand true
Yeah, I've heard of it.
fans,
Yes.
right? So
Yeah.
so this platform that you built, okay, so maybe we'll dive just really quickly into the thousand true fans. If you can get a thousand true fans who actually love you and will follow you to the ends of the earth, and you
Right.
put out a small product, $100, whatever it is for support, that's 100 grand. That's a livable income. Great. You can live as a creator and do your thing and, be happy and all that stuff is awesome. Right.
Totally.
So I love what you're building because it allows people to actually utilize the thousand fan concept.
Right.
Right. Thousand fans, $100. That's not hard to do. Right. Hey, look,
Yeah.
you can live your life, do your thing, follow your dreams, create all the stuff you wanted to create. And if you end up, creating the next blockbuster crazy movie that ends up taking off to the stars, then you win. Right. So, but you're,
Yeah.
you're, you're enabling people to experience that through your platform. Is that right?
Totally. And the big problem is that there's just no place to self-distribute, really. Like what even
Mhm.
if you do YouTube, how do you make money on YouTube? You have to make millions of views just to make pennies. And
Right.
so that just doesn't exist if somebody wants to say, "Hey, I have my 1,000 true fans. I want to go and send them to go buy my movie and I want to keep 100% of the revenue." That doesn't exist at this time. And so
Mhm.
we're excited to invite platforms that are saying, "Hey, we're building that too." Into this ecosystem. And we also have visions on how we're going to solve that problem ourselves. But by bringing everyone together into a single
Mhm.
place, now you can be competitive because, Netflix has hundreds of millions of viewers. So if do you have hundreds of millions of viewers? No. And
Right.
if you wanted to be Netflix, Netflix pays $1 billion per year to Amazon just to host their infrastructure. So do you have $1 billion? Probably not. So like
Yeah.
the bar just to get into the game is so high. And so how can you actually be competitive in this landscape? And that's really what we're excited and, as you can tell, very passionate
Yeah.
to solve.
I love it. I mean, like, giving the underdog an actual fighting chance to have a real chance at success, right? And we're not talking like we don't have to make billions of dollars for each like I said, 100 grand is usually a
Yeah,
livable income everywhere in the world at that
right.
point. I think what are you at 100K, you're what, like top 15% ish of the entire world, like in earnings,
Yeah,
so which is crazy because that's not a lot of money.
yeah.
But yeah. So I love the fact that you're giving people the opportunity, right? Like that's a really cool thing to give the opportunity. So when you're not saving the world, giving them the ultimate DPN solution to combat the $1 billion entry fee for playing in the space, what do you do for fun?
Yeah, well, my fun and life and business all kind of collide
Combined.
together.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
can see that. I can see
yeah,
that.
I mean, I love making movies. It's one of my passions. It's something I love to do. It's also something I'm privileged enough to be able to do for a living.
Mhm.
I travel the world. I was a nomad for 3 years. I went to over 27 countries during
That's
that
cool.
time and building this community for Packet on a global basis because this isn't just a US project. This is a global project. So being
Right.
able to kind of circle the globe. I'm flying to Malta on Sunday to go speak on a panel out there. And so just being able to go around the world, I love traveling. I love experiencing new things. I love experiencing new people and cultures and stuff like that. And so it's been really rewarding to kind of mix all these things that I love together and call that my career.
That's fantastic. So I'm a big believer in that the whole work-life balance thing is an absolute lie. There is no such thing as work-life balance. It's work-life integration, right?
Yeah,
And so the
100%.
fact that you get to travel, enjoy, and spread this thing worldwide, that's real work-life integration. It's not like you're segmenting this lives on this side and this lives on that side. No, no, man. Everything mixes and the flavors are all together and it tastes wonderful. So that's
Yeah,
pretty cool. I like that. So you
totally.
said 27 countries?
Yeah, well, I think I'm at 29
29?
now, but
Holy
yeah,
cow.
over
Okay.
those 3 years, I did 27 countries, and yeah,
So I'm gonna ask a selfish question. So I'm an absolute foodie. You had 29 countries. Top three for food. Which were if you only could pick three out of those 29, where would you go just for the food? Because I'm an absolute foodie.
yeah. Well, Kyoto, Japan
Oh,
was absolutely insane food. Some of the
yes.
best food I've ever had.
Agreed. Agreed.
I would also say Tel Aviv, which I was
Tel
surprised
Aviv.
has some of the
Okay.
best food I've ever had,
All
from
right.
all kinds of different cuisines. And a third. I mean, I really loved the food in Paris, not the
Okay.
French food. I liked the other, had some of the best Italian food.
Mm,
But I did have the best pasta of my life right outside of Vatican City in
interesting.
Italy. So that meal right there was pretty much to die for. So yeah, it's
Fantastic.
it's a hard one. There's a lot of good food around the world.
Well, absolutely, which is why it's a tough question. But if I
Yeah.
could absolutely, so thank you for that. Tel Aviv, I've never really thought about. I've been there. It didn't stand out. So maybe I should re-explore that from a food
Yeah,
perspective.
I had some
So
incredible meals there. The other place that I was really surprised is the sushi in Brazil, because Brazil has the second largest Japanese population outside of
really,
Japan, and they have some of the best sushi cuisine out there, which was really surprising.
well, I am an absolute sushi snob. I live in
Yeah.
Vancouver, so we're really spoiled here. So we get really damn good sushi, and there's like weird sushi fusion out here, right? So the
Yeah.
Koreans have put their Korean spice on it, and now it's like very different, and then da 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 da. So I would love to check out Brazil's sushi scene. That'd be fantastic. So that's really
Hmm.
cool. All
For
right,
sure.
fantastic. So, um, in Hawaii last time I went, it's you always ask the locals where to go, right? And so we went to all the fancy restaurants, and so there was this weird tour. Okay, they stick you on a bus. They ship you up to the top of a volcano, which is scary unto itself,
Mhm.
and then you get to watch the sunrise above the clouds, which was life-changing experience for me. I'm like, holy crap, I've never seen that. And so they tell you bring a jacket, bring a blanket, bring a stuff. Dude, it's Hawaii. It's not going to be cold. It was cold. It was a
Yeah.
mountain. So just freaking
This is in
snow
Maui,
outside in
right?
Hawaii. So I'm like, okay, that wasn't the brightest moment of my life. And so I'm sitting there, like a little girl hiding in the bathroom, hitting the hand dryer, just trying to not to die. Right. So I don't die. Anyway, so they slap you on a bike and then you get the bike down the volcano. And while we were doing this, the tour guide told us there's a little dinky hole in the wall restaurant where it tastes like home cooking. And man, those little tiny hole in the wall surprise the crap out of you every single time, right? Because they just hit hard. I'm like, wow, the flavor on this is insane. It's like someone's mother made this, right?
Yeah.
So it's always those little surprises that make life worthwhile and the whole exploration of travel. So thank you for sharing your travel stories and your food stories.
Was that
Both,
in Maui?
yeah. It's actually it was in Maui. Yeah.
Yeah, we actually when we shot Oblivion, if you watch the movie again, I don't know if you've seen the movie, but
Mhm.
when they're up in the sky tower, um,
Yes.
what Joseph Kosinski did is he set up a camera, 360-degree camera at the top of
Uh-huh.
that volcano and filmed for like multiple days. And so all of the light what they did is when they built the Sky Tower, they put projection or they put projections around the Sky Tower that they
Uh-huh.
created on the set, and on those LED screens they projected the sunrises and sunsets and all the stuff from that mountain. And so all the light that you see in the movie in those scenes is actually like real light that's coming from these projected LED screens, which is from the top of there. And I actually went up there before. It is absolutely freezing. I went up there for New Year's and it was
Nice.
definitely cold.
So Mount Halecala, right? Is what it's called? Something like that.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I
Oh,
believe
there you
so.
go.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, that's awesome. So that we've shared a travel destination. That's pretty cool. All right, cool, cool. Well, the last question, and I'm sorry for this to end. I'm having a great time. The last question on the interview is really simple. Why do you want people to connect with the project? So like give them a reason to connect with you. And where would you like to build the community? Like do you have like a Twitter? Do you have like a Discord? Do you have a Telegram? Where would you prefer people to go? So give them a reason to connect, and where would you like them to connect with you?
Totally. Yeah, look, we are attracting people who are passionate about change, that
Hmm.
want to take the power back to the people, and empowering people to take action, and
Yes,
knowing that many hands make light work. So we can do this together, and it's not doesn't have to just be content creators, though we're attracting influencers, creators, filmmakers, people of that sort, but also
mhm,
audiences that want to have exposure to more and what's
absolutely.
available. Only I'd say 2 to 5% of content that's created gets meaningful distribution. So there's so much amazing work out there that just doesn't even have access. And this isn't just a US thing. This is a global thing that we're building, and building a global community. So including anybody or people that just want to make money. I mean, literally these things, by providing that infrastructure, the returns are incredible, especially now as we just moved over to the base blockchain and the
Mhm.
incentives are extremely high for participation. So
Nice.
jump in there. I'm in the Telegram all the time. So you can
Okay.
ask me questions whenever you want, and I'm very engaged and here to help guide, help you set up. I also do a Thursday call or webinar every Thursday just to help
Okay.
onboard people and show them how to do it and troubleshoot with people. People can share their screens, and we do a whole workshop where I work with people and help them solve their
Beautiful.
problems and make it real simple. So that's probably
That's
the
amazing.
the best place to engage and connect with
All
me.
right. So why don't we start with what's the website you want people to go to, and then what's the Telegram channel?
Yeah, pkt.cash is where you can go. You can,
Mhm.
if you just want to get that plug and play device that I told you about, it's pktpal.com, Packet
Okay.
Pal, and you can just go and buy a node and plug it in. We stake on your behalf, and you just connect your Web3 wallet and it runs that infrastructure. You just get paid multiple times a day. It's real simple. Um,
Beautiful.
and the Telegram is the PKT Telegram. So you can just go, you can get it from the pkt.cash website in the footer, find the
Perfect.
Telegram, and that's probably the easiest way to route over there. But yeah, it's a cool community, and we're just starting to bring in creators and celebrities and people who normally wouldn't even touch crypto because they're like, oh, we're not, that's not our business. But being able to bring in that creator economy and that creator community has been really rewarding, and watching people who have never touched crypto in their lives being like, yeah, this is something I really believe in and I want to be a part of this.
That's fantastic. Well, Josh, it's been an absolute pleasure. Great conversation,
Yeah,
and
likewise.
some cool twists and turns. How we both spent a bunch of time on a cold ass volcano in Hawaii.
We
So
definitely
very
did.
cool. Yeah, thank you for so much for being on the show. Appreciate you, and yeah, looking forward to checking this out and coming back and touching base again later and to see how the growth has been.
Totally. Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, cheers, cheers. Thank you.
Thank you.